Life is just so loud nowadays. It feels weird just to be quiet, you know? As spring has come, I've really began to appreciate the sounds of the world coming back to life. You know, everywhere they reference the sound of birds singing, trees rustling and stuff like that, but I have to wonder how many of us legitimately appreciate that sort of stuff. I mean, like, look at this tree. It's gorgeous. And I just have to wonder how many of us really take the time to appreciate that sort of stuff, you know? I know I don't. Life is quiet. The world is mundane. We live just like everybody has for years, moment to moment. I find myself, just filling my life with so many distractions, so much that I forget to appreciate that sort of stuff. Real life is really beautiful. I'm so used to fantasies of what the world can be, what life should be like. Lots of cuts, lots of fancy edits. But real life has quiet and still moments. I love art as much as the next guy. I think it's such a beautiful reflection of life, but it's condensed, It doesn't have the same slowness. I think about this sort of thing a lot because I'm a guy who, loves media, loves art. I love consuming that sort of stuff. I think it's so great and beautiful. But I have to wonder how good it is for me sometimes. If it gives me a overly high expectation of what life is really like, Makes me disappointed whenever life is just life. My mind will get really full with stuff, Like there's 5 million different layers going on at once. Because I'm an arrogant guy, I just assumed for the longest time it's because I'm some sort of super genius. But really, I'm starting to think that it's actually a bad thing. People in ancient Japan, I'm a dork and I know all about that sort of stuff. The measure of how smart a man was how much room he had still left in his mind to learn and to grow. I think that's such an interesting concept. To not measure a man by how full his mind is, but how open it is to more growth. I've really come to believe that the trouble in life is never lack of knowledge or lack of information, but more lack of experience, lack of wisdom. I've pretty much given up on intaking new information in my life and just try and spend as much time as I can mulling over the stuff that I know and trying to find the truth in it. And even more than that, just learning to be happy and satisfied in my life with where I'm at and who I am. And I think it's still moments like this that really help, that really make that possible. Because without stillness and quiet in life, how do we even know who we are anymore if we're just so filled with distractions? So that's why I do this. Just go for a walk in nature, in silence. Think. Talk to yourself. I gave up on trying to not look crazy to people a long time ago. Especially, I think that everybody should take advantage of times in their life when they are alone for a great part of the day. Especially in a world like we have now, where everybody is trying to fight for your attention and fighting to define who you are. I read a book a couple of years back. It's called 4,000 Weeks. Whole thing is about how to live your life in a way that is satisfying and rewarding. And one of the main things that he says in there that really stuck with me was that you are the sum of what you spend your time on. And so advertisers and news outlets, all these people are trying to vie for defining who you are. Because anytime you spend time on something, you are sacrificing a part of who you are and what makes you you for that. It made me really question how I spend my time, who I spend it with, and to be picky about all of those things. Because if that defines who I am, I have to ask, who do I want to be? We as humans have such an amazing opportunity for the fact that we can change and we can choose who we want to be, what we want to do with our lives. I don't want to forsake that, you know? I want to live a life where I'm proud of who I am and taking ownership of that fact. Being who I want to be by making the decisions that make me the type of person that I want to be. Now, I will say that I'm in a very privileged position in life where I have pretty much complete ownership over who I am and what I do. Left home and moved out to be on my own, and now I have no ties, I have no connections. And at first it was very lonely. But once I realized that I'd given myself a clean slate, that I can do whatever I want now. I can be who I want to be. It's really quite freeing. No matter where you're at or what you think you owe life or the people around you, you can be who you want to be. You can do what you want to do. And it's moments like this. I want to be this type of person. I want to be the type of person that hears the birds and hears them, you know? So that's who I am. That's what I'm trying to do here. And to think about everything that I do before I do it, because it's who I am. Now, it's not a perfect way to live. It causes a lot of doubts. Makes me question everything that I do because I hold everything that I do to such a high standard. Maybe that distracts me sometimes and keeps me from the things that are really special. This is what I've chosen. So I've got to live with it, right? I hope some of this. Wow, it's really hard to think of something that doesn't sound very buzzwordy. Resonates with you, helps you out, supports you, encourages you. Wonder if this will still be cool the second time.